Here's another Chinese character for you today, the word for crisis. Now this is a very interesting Chinese word, 2 characters, and guess what they mean? Danger and opportunity. Now this is just what a crisis means to us. I've talked about some of the challenges, and now I'm just going to highlight back again on some of those opportunities. I mentioned the safety factor, and this is something that Kylie mentioned for the UK as well. Anything that people consume, whether it's through food or clothing, on their bodies or through the air, people are really worried about this. Once again, this is a caption from a local in Shanghai. It was in the daily news. It is a real issue. China's been going through some tough times lately. You would have read about it. So this is really impacting on the way that consumers think. And like Kylie mentioned, people are willing to spend a little bit more on something that they know is reliable and safe. So that's something important to think about for Hong Kong, Taiwan and China. Like Catherine mentioned before, if you've got any accreditations or anything in terms of your packaging and design that can prove this point, then now's the time to be proud and show that off. I mentioned one-child policy, the safety. So this is a lovely poster that we developed for a cosmetics and skincare show in China and Hong Kong. It's all about making people feel safe and assured about Australian products. Now, we're not alone. Other countries like New Zealand and so on do have just as much credibility in this area, so it is still competitive, and you do have to still niche your message down and back it up with product and business capability. Logistics. One fabulous outcome of all this money being spent on infrastructure is that it's easier for you to get in and around our markets, but more importantly your goods and your services in and around our market. A lot of money is being put into developing the infrastructure, and this is opening up new cities and new markets. A lot of people, you would have heard that yes, the eastern shoreline of China is crowded. And so with this development of regional investment and infrastructure, this is going to create new markets for Australia. And these markets, they might not be 20 million people like Shanghai, which is all of Australia just about. However, they might be lovely niche markets still of 7 to 10 million, with some spending capabilities, people that have travelled offshore, away from our markets. So it's something to look out for. Don't just always think that our market is Taipei, Hong Kong, Beijing, Shanghai. Ask around and you'll find that there are new markets opening up. I mentioned before new markets, and this is another area. So as part of the government's focus, there are some niche opportunities there in these new markets for selling products and services that will help them stay clean and green. Jobs. I mentioned education and training. This is an area for Hong Kong, Taiwan and mainland China, whether you provide service in our market or if you get the students out. There's a lot of interesting areas to explore there. Investment. This was mentioned before. China is more and more investing abroad, and they are very good shoppers, and now's a great time for them to buy. So this is another area that might be suitable to some industries, some companies in Australia, where you might be able to use this as a source of capital to keep your business afloat and sailing forward. We mentioned big events, major events. This is another area. We survived the Beijing Olympics last year in China. It was a very busy time and full of interesting challenges and wonderful experiences. And next year in Shanghai we will have World Expo 2010, like Brisbane did in 1988. I have a new nickname. People call me Madam Expo. I've been assigned by Austrade to help coordinate Austrade's presence and connection with the Australian Pavilion. So for any questions about World Expo, feel free to contact me later on.